Well, hello YouTube. What I want to show today is what I consider to be the best holster design for a revolver, bar none. I have many different holsters made of different materials, different sizes, shapes. Been concealed carrying for well over a decade. So I've got a lot of experience, but I'm going to show you something that's pretty unique. So first I'll show you something that's not unique. So this is a K6S. Now the reason you'd buy something like this, its claim to fame, is it's the smallest and lightest 6-shot 357 Magnum revolver. So if you're buying something that's thin and relatively light, it's not a light gun, but it is light for a 6-shot 357, you'll probably value those qualities. So if you get the wrong type of holster, you're actually working against what you're trying to build, which is a very slim and light carry rig. So here's a commercially available holster, one I recently bought. It's called Just Holster It. Nothing wrong with it per se. It's a good quality holster. We got it on Amazon. But the problem is, with most holsters, they have the cylinder contained. Okay? So that's adding extra width on both sides of the cylinder. They also usually add a clip on the cylinder. So they're making the fattest part even fatter. Alright? So let me try to put my camera down for a sec, and I will put the calipers to it so you can see what I'm talking about. Try to get this in frame. So got my handy dandy calipers. Let me zero it out. So ignoring the clip itself, just gonna get the holster itself. I'm at 1.76 inches. I don't know if I can get that focused, but you'll have to take my word for it. And just remember, it's got about this much bulk to it. Okay? Now, the cylinder on the gun itself, you can show you how that is. You can see just how much extra there is. Right? Now let me bring her down. So potentially this could be 1.34 inches wide. So let me show you my solution now. Get this camera back in my hand. This is what you want. Now, this is homemade. It says K6S down there. I just stamped that in. Couple features. The most notable one is you can see the cylinder has been cut out. Right? That's going to reduce the thickest part of the revolver. The other thing you'll notice is the clip is placed over the trigger guard. So when this is put together, let's see if I can do her one-handed. It doesn't add any bulk to the package. Look at it from this way. You can see the maximum width is the cylinder, and that's just a parameter you cannot get around. So that's what you need to work with. Okay? I have a little bit adjustable cant with this, but I have it pre-drilled basically ideally. So revolvers have a grip that sticks out. If you orientate the gun more like this, it sticks more up than out. Makes it easier to conceal. Alright, so this is Kydex. It's a one-piece taco style, if you want to call it that. I did put a little bit of a grind here for the trigger guard, so my finger's not catching. It's folded over the trigger guard. Most companies do not do that, but then they are going over the cylinder. So this provides the right amount of tension. Of course, if you know anything about Kydex, you can adjust it over the trigger guard. I'm just barely covering the front sight and the barrel. This rides inside the pants, the way I have it set up. And like I said, it's extremely thin. It is the most comfortable type of holster you can wear or make. Like I said, you can't really buy it. If you can, I don't know of any company that sells one like this. At least not anymore. But this is the best. So I'm going to make one for all of my revolvers because that's what I like to carry. I do like that reliability. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but for people who choose this type of weapon for concealed carry, for self-defense, this is the best way to do it. Unfortunately, if you have oddball guns, K6S is probably one of them. It's rapidly becoming more popular, but you have few options, so you really have to just kind of make what you need. And eventually that's what I did, because when I stick this in my pants, it's like a huge tumor. It is really, really huge, and that's not what I want. I want as thin as possible. I really feel that width. The width and the weight are, of course, the two biggest factors. And this is relatively light, not the lightest. It's not an alloy, it's all steel. But it is light enough to carry in the pants with especially one clip. And it is not uncomfortable. I do not get corrosion on the cylinder. It's stainless steel and it's rubbing, so if anything it's slightly polishing, but not really. But you're not going to get rust. Now I do live in a cold northern state, so maybe if you're in California or something, well, I guess you wouldn't be carrying a gun at all in California, but you know, a place where you're sweating 24/7, maybe that's different. But for me, I've never had any problems. I've been carrying my J-frame, which has a stainless cylinder in it, for many years in a holster of this style, and it's worked perfectly for me. It's actually comfortable. You may think, well, the metal sticking against my side isn't going to be comfortable. It actually is. It just rides in that pocket. It's mostly against my underwear. So if you're going commando, maybe that's different, but it's certainly not uncomfortable. Just the shape of a carry revolver is pretty smooth to begin with. There's nothing really sharp jabbing me. So if you know how to make kydex, make one. If you don't, find a buddy who does and tell him to make one like this. I don't have any plans to sell just because it's just too much time. It's not really worth it. There's so many people in the business making stuff at such a cheap price point that unless you really tool up and make a lot, it's not going to be worth your time. And I really didn't invest anything into kydex making. I'm doing everything the bare minimum with hand tools. I cut this with a handsaw, you know, so I'm sure you can make one more beautiful than me, but this does the job. So I'm already rambling. I just want to show that off. I have one for my LCR, 3-inch as well, another revolver that's hard to find a holster for. You know, and I'm going to make one for my Taurus and 45 Colt. A lot of oddball revolvers that I just seem to gravitate towards. So that's it.